Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So today I wanted to talk about MiG-29s and the versions that are likely to come in the future of War Thunder. There are a lot of versions of the MiG-29. We already have a lot of them actually, and in the future, even though there are a lot of options still, due to the nature of how Gaijin normally has these aircraft and looking at the patterns with the additions of MiG-21s and 23s, we can try to predict what are the last MiG-29s that are going to be added. Of course, there are a lot of them. I'm going to mention 3 main ones and then some honorable mentions as well. Okay, the first one is obviously the MiG-29M. It's an aircraft that was a major overhaul in the late 80s and early 90s for the MiG-29, carrying 8 missiles using the Zook radar, a similar radar to what the AK-141 uses, and even the SMT with its upgraded one. And it would be basically a multi-role MiG-29, fully multi-role with air-to-ground missiles and anti-ship missiles and everything like that, right? This aircraft could be added still, you know. If I'm not mistaken, Egypt bought some of those, and even though they were upgraded from the 80s to be delivered afterwards, it can be added, you know. It would be an aircraft that would be having the same type of fuel as the SMT, but internally, without the hump, you know. So maybe it would be something along the lines of another aircraft that you can research after the SMT, or an aircraft that is in a fold with the SMT coming before or after it, you know. So yeah, it would be very, very good. It would be, you know, carrying the R-77s, R-73s, R-27s, Es, you know, all the missiles that we already have in the SMT, and we are going to receive in the future on the SMT as well, right? Like the 77, right? So it wouldn't be that big of a difference between the SMT and the M, I gotta be honest. But I think it's a very iconic aircraft and it has a chance of coming. The second one is, I think, one of the most likely versions that we will see in a not too distant future, especially with the way that everything is with Gaijin. Gaijin normally loves to jump variants, you know, starting with very early variants, then jumping from a mid or very late variant, and then having normally even a final variant later on. And it's the MiG-35, obviously. The MiG-35, if something like the Eurofighter comes, more advanced versions of the Gripen, and all sorts of aircraft like that, we can have the MiG-35. It would be very similar in performance as the MiG-29M that I was talking about. So, I mean, close to the SMT. Of course, remember, the SMT is still lacking the AOA, and the flight model is kind of weird. Of all the MiG-29s in the game right now, they can never basically perform a Cobra properly. They're kind of weird. But even with that, I think the MiG-35 would be the answer from Mikoyan to the 4+ generation aircraft, you know. So as I was saying, the Eurofighters and everything like that. Of course, you would use the same type of missiles that we already talked about, R-77, R-27s, R-73s, and all sorts of missiles like that, and air-to-ground capability as well. The good part about it is that you would have a full PESA radar once everybody starts to get these types of radars as well. And of course, it has the option of using even an ESA radar, technically. So I don't know how they would implement that, but still, it would be a very, very interesting option. And since, I mean, it's probably not in a right, like around the corner, but it's not that far away. It's probably sooner than you think that an aircraft such as this will be added. And then we have the third main one, I think, one that would complete the tech tree, you know, the MiG-29K, you know, the one that would basically make the Soviet tech tree really, really complete, in the sense that it would have a naval variant of the MiG-29. So the K variant, we could have the older one and the newer one. I mean, both of them are very good. The newer one, obviously, it's better. It's more similar to the MiG-35 in some ways, you know. And the older one, it's basically the M variant from the 80s, but naval. Both of them would be amazing. 8 missiles as well. The Zook radar again. Multi-role capability. It is pretty much the same as the MiG-29M, but with naval, you know, things to land in a carrier, etc. Right? So it would be an aircraft that would compare it to the, at least the older one, to the Legacy Hornets, and the newer ones to a little bit more of something like the Super Hornet. It's arguably worse than the Super Hornet, but I'm not gonna get too much into that, but it's the counter that exists, you know. I don't care if it's worse or better or whatever, the BR will sort that thing out. The main thing is that it would be kind of that idea of a lighter naval aircraft for the Soviets or slash Russians, right? So these are the 3 main ones that I think are most likely to come. These are probably going to be added, at least 1 or 2 of them will be going to be added along the next year, I would say, or something like that, or even sooner than that, into the Russian USSR tree. But of course, we have other trees and other minor things. So some honorable mentions. Of course, the first one is the Romanians and the Hungarians with the MiG-29s 912As that they used. So for Italy, something like that could be added to complete the tech tree and the sub tree that they are basically receiving slowly, you know. It would be basically just a normal MiG-29, but the Romanians tried to do a sniper upgrade. It's called the sniper upgrade to it. Didn't went forward too much, but still it would have some different systems and stuff, another version that can be added. The second one that it's worth mentioning is a North Korean one. So North Korea used the 912B, and even that it's basically just a 912A that we have for Germany, for example, but without even the R27T. And also they used an inside North Korea built 913 that could actually be a very interesting premium for China or something like that, you know. It would be very similar to the 913 that we have in game. So yeah. And the last one, of course, is the MiG-29 913S. Of course, it's basically the same variant that we have in the game as the 913, but with the improved radar and some minor things in the flight control system to be able to pull a little bit more AOA. But mainly, it has a new upgraded 9N019 radar to be able to fire the R77. And basically this is it, guys. These are all the MiG-29s that I think are likely to be added soon. Let me know in the comments what do you think about all of them, and let me know in the comments what is your favorite MiG-29 to be added. I see you guys on the next one, and bye.